I try to follow this. The war of words between the White House and Facebook continues as the Biden administration doubles down on criticism suddenly of the big tech giant.
On COVID misinformation, what's your message to platforms like Facebook?
They're killing people.
This health misinformation is hurting people's health. It's costing them their lives. They've taken positive steps, and some of them have. I've acknowledged that. But what I've also said very clearly to them, privately and also publicly, is that it's not enough.
Here react is biotech entrepreneur and author of the upcoming book, Woke Inc., Vivek Ramaswamy. Vivek, thanks so much for joining us. 1 minute, 2 days prior to that statement, they're killing people. They admitted they're coordinating with Facebook on a messaging campaign. What are we to believe?
Well, look, they are just using different tools to get private companies to do what the government wants them to do. Because, like I said before, Brian, private companies are free to do whatever they want, but they're not free to do what they want when they're doing the bidding of big government. So what government's doing right now is it's using a combination of threats against these companies. That's effectively what you heard from President Biden. They're the regulator of these companies, so those threats mean something. But then also those companies are now willfully coordinating with the government to do the same thing. And under the Supreme Court standards, if a private company either is willfully coordinating with the government, or if the government's threatening those companies to do the same thing, or if the government provides immunity, like Section 230, to prevent private companies from being sued for doing what the government wants them to do, that means it's just state action in disguise. Here you have all three elements, and if it's state action in disguise, the Constitution still applies. The First Amendment, therefore, applies to these companies.
Vivek, here's the problem. What is the truth? Is it masked, good or bad? It changed. Where's the origin of the virus? The Wuhan lab? Conventional wisdom now, according to the Biden administration. Then you were vilified if you brought that up a year ago. What is the truth when it comes to services? Hasn't the Biden administration learned anything that they don't know everything about this?
You hit the nail on the head. The right answer is humility in not only acknowledging what we know, but what we don't know. And the right answer to misinformation, Brian, is not less speech. It is more speech. Every dictator through human history has had his or her excuse for why it is that they need to censor speech. But the road always ends in the same place. The right answer is actually free debate, open debate in the marketplace of ideas where the best ideas can win. That's the lesson we've learned time and again. Now, President Biden, and today, the mantra is that social media is different. Well, guess what? This time has always been different. People said the same thing with the telephone. People said the same thing with radio. People said the same thing with the Gutenberg printing press. It's not that different. And it's precisely when people like President Biden are saying that this time is different that we need to remember our first principles of free speech. And that's one of the first principles that defines our country.
And let me just give you what Facebook said to complete so no one has any complaints. Facebook's statement is this. The data shows that 85% of Facebook users in the U.S. have been or wanted to be vaccinated against COVID-19. President Biden's goal was for 70% of Americans to be vaccinated by July 4th. Facebook is not the reason the goal was missed. Vivek, all you do is tell people when you read things online, find out the source of where they're coming from. So that we do this every single day to do our jobs. Do the same thing. Is it Fox News? Is it another network? Where they find it? Who's quoted in it? And then you make your decision. That's called the way most Americans live their lives. They think we're all morons.
Absolutely. And actually, the irony, Brian, is that they're actually undermining public trust in science by trying to engineer the conversation. That's why people don't believe what they hear anymore, because they know it's already been engineered, whereas free-thinking people are actually able to make their own judgments in the free marketplace of ideas. That's what we've lost.
Look forward to your book, Woke Inc. Always great to talk to you, Vivek. Appreciate it.
Good to see you.
All right. Meanwhile,